So the next topic is can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
So next topic is user and group administrations. Okay, it is all about how to create the users, how to create the groups, how to manage the group, how to add the users into the specific group, how to enable the permissions, overview of the permissions. So where we can check the use informations about the users, how to change the username. So we are going to all these things in this topic. So users and administration is essential for controlling the access to the system. So we cannot just like that you admin users for everybody, right? So for controlling that, we are creating the users. So creating the users, you already know. To create a users, we need to use useradd command. This command will create a user account, can customize with several options. So this is a command user. Initially, if you add the user add and username, that will create. But additionally, we can have a -m. So -m create the users on home directory. Example /home/home. So yes, -s will have specify bin bash, specify the default shell of your user. Otherwise, some next level it will user will create some other directory and some other directory as also. That's why we have specifically mentioned -m and -s. -m will help us to create the users in home directory, and -s will have bin bash specify the default shell of our for the users. So how they create the users in the real time? So this way only. Okay. Then you already so the how to set the password for the specific user using the command ps sswd and the username. So here we are creating the user. The name of the username is John, and set the password of the user name John. So if you want to delete the user, you can use user delete userdel -r and the username. So creating the group. So why we need a group? Okay, so we have I mean we are working on this project, and the project have so many peoples. Usually in every project they have so many peoples will be available. Some people's they are working on the developing part, some people working on infrastructure part, some people working on some management part, some people working on the testing part, right? For each project. So they are every people need different permissions. So developer need this specific permissions, and tester need this specific permission, and infra people need the specific permission, and management needed some specific permissions. So in organization level or project level, how we can manage this all these permissions easily for creating the group. So we create a group like developers, HR, infra, management, and tester. Then we can easily when you're creating the user, and enable the permissions, specific permissions for each group. So whatever the permissions required for developers, and whatever the required permissions for infra team, and whatever because infra need the full admin permission, but developer needs only this application related folder permission alone. Tester needs some testing permission of specific folders again. The management team need only the read only permissions. So we example I'm saying. So we need to set the permission like this. So if the new user, if you are going to create a new user, example, the new user, new member or user is part of the developer team. So you can just create a user instead of creating the permissions, assigning the permissions of each user. Uh, we can just create a user and assign to the specific group. So user automatically get that permissions. Otherwise, if you are not managing with any groups, right? So each and every person, you need to enable the permissions on every time, right? So you need to find out which permissions is required for the developer. Then we need to enable that permissions, right? So that will be painful, and it's not a soft. I mean, it's not a easy to manage for each user permissions. So that we have the group and we manage easily for the permissions. So that's why we have the group. So creating the group add what are the group name you want, you can just mention here. So example, group add admins. So if you are the part of the infra team, you can just add the two admin group so that you can get the admin permission. Okay. So adding the users to the group. How we can add the users into group? You can add a user to existing group using the user mod command with the a capital G options. So user mode -a g developers John. So this is the developer group and this is the username. So -ag options ensure the user is appended to the group without being removed from others. Okay, this ag help appended to the group without being removed from others. So this is the real-time example. So real-time, we'll manage the group for each team. I mean the team that sense. Uh, the team can be developers or admin or infra testing. So you can just simply create a user and adding to the users to the this specific group. Okay. So if you want to delete the group, everything is set. If you want to delete the group, so the command is group del and the group name.
I just want to make sure. What does the for the user mod? What does the AG stand for again? The dash AG.
The -ag options ensure the user is appended to the group without being removed from others. So if you use that -ag with and created the added to the group, so only you can able to remove the users from this specific group. Others could not able to remove.
Okay.
So next is changing the user information. So you can modify a user details such as login name, user home directory option using the user mod command again. So if you want to change the name, I don't the user name. Some reason that if you want the user change the name from John to Jane. So this is a command. So user mode -l. So what new username you want to change and the current username. So this will change into the username. So same way we can also change the user directory, home directory using this user mod command. So just want to change the user home directory. So this is the command to change the user directory. Changing the password again, just PSSWD John. So this we can easily change the user passwords. Viewing user information. To view the details about a user, you can use the ID. Just use the command ID. You get the informations. Whom I am, whom I am, and get nt commands. These commands will help us to get the informations. Example. So if you use ID John, so what this will display the user UID, GUID, and the group they belongs to. So with so if you want to if you give the informations about the this user which group the user is configured, I mean which what are the groups they are using, so you can just type ID space username. So this will get the groups which they belongs to, and along with the UID and GUID. Group informations get ent group command. Example, so ent group developers. So this will get overall there in this group. Some example for real-time setup for the developer group. Create a group and user. So I just they are creating the groupadd developers and creating the users under the bin bash. Two users I created. Add the users to the group, and all these two users I added to the developers group, and verify the members AD the username and AD the username. Check which groups they are belongs to, and if you want to set the permissions, we set the permission for group access. Okay, so I am going to they are creating one directory under the data/project and changing the ownership of this permissions. You can use change owner : developers this directory name. So this will help to assign the owner permissions for this directory under this group. So this group have now the owner permission of this directory. So how we can do using the chown. So changing the ownership. This command will help to changing the ownership of these specific directories. So right currently I am assigning changing the developers group into the this directory. Okay. In other way, we enable the permission chmod 770/data/project. So we can enable the read write permissions and execute permissions to the developers group. So this 7 read write and execute permission, and again this 7 read write and execute permissions to this developers group, and but other restrictions access, but others if 0 means no permissions, so others cannot do anything. Only the developers who are there in the developers groups, they can able to access all the files under this project folder. Okay. Password policy, we can enforce the password policy through etc login defs by using change command. Sorry, chag command to set the password expired. So if you want to set the password expired for the users, you can use this command. This set the password maximum password age to 30 days for the user John. This is the command. We can set the password policy. So the specific user password will expire after 30 days. So they need to reset the password for every 29 before 30 days on every month. I mean every 29 days they need to reset the password. Otherwise they can call admin to reset the password. Okay, how to set that password? Using the change, I mean chag command. To list all the users and group, we can already know etc password we can see, and etc group we can see. Okay. Okay, we
Okay.
can go for some demo on this. We can just play around with users group and creating the users and groups very quickly, because this is very simple topics. We can directly uh, go this. Okay, I think this will be very. It will cover the users and groups both. Oh, you can see my screen.
Yeah.
I will jump into the directory. So what's our first command? Group will create a group. So I will create one group name, group add developers. Okay, so I creating the two users, hyphen n, hyphen s, in dash alias, and create another user, Bob. Okay, using the user mod, hyphen ag developers, adding the both user under this group. So I just verify ID hyphen alias. So I can see UID, GUID, and group, alias, user, and this group name. So I am the part of the developers group. So this user have part of the developers group. Okay, and same if you check Bob as well. Okay, he also part of this development group. Now we are going to assign the permission for the specific group. Name, change the directory, create one directory, slash paper slash projects. Okay, dir projects. So currently, if you put lf icon yes. So currently, the owner is root directory, root user, and this is a user and this is a group. Okay, so both are in root right now. I'm going to change the permissions to the assigning to the group. invalid user. Okay. Okay. So now we can check ls-l, the group having this permission now. So user is root and group is having the permissions for the projects. So again we can run chmod 770 / data / projects. So what you can see now, only root and developers have this permission. Okay, this having dot dot dot. Previously, others have read and execute permission. Now, nobody, I mean, other users apart from uh, the users which are under the developers, they can able to do all these things. But the user which is not available, which is not available for the development group. Anyway, root have the full permissions. The users which don't have under this developers group, they could not able to do anything because we assigned we removed the read execute permissions from the others. Okay. So let's create one more user and check. Okay. I will create a password for that user. Now we jump into that user. And try to access see, even I could not able to go into that directory also because I am not part of the developer group. Okay. If I log in as a Bob, example, I set the password for Bob. And I log in as a Bob user. I'm trying to go into that directory. Data project. If I can go. Okay. So this way we can create a user, create a group, then create a user, assign the user to the specific group and set the permissions for the group for specific directories and set the only root and only the specific group people can access the folder, the directory. So others could not able to access the directory. Okay. Are you clear or yeah, any doubt?
So far I'm just let's see.
Yeah, so far. Do you have anything doubt? Any doubt on this? Any
So far, I get the concept.
Okay. So I just set the password policy for Bob 30 days. Okay. So Bob can the Bob
Page and
password will expire on 30 days. So
okay.
list out the users informations. You can see etc password. Maybe you already know. I just show you again. So if you see the go, if you get etc password, we can see the user informations. So whatever we are creating the users, those informations we can see on the etc password. Okay.
Okay.
So these are all for creating users group and managing the users and group and set the permissions for the group. The permissions, right? So file permissions, group directory permissions. As I said earlier, we have the separate topic. So what is 7 and what is 0? I will go with the detailed view on the read write executive, how to enable, what is the how can enable the permissions. That all definitely I go for the explanations of each example. If you assigning 770, what is the exact permissions for? I will go with the detailed one. As of now, you know already, right? So 77 is 0 is read write execute. Okay.
So the ones so everything that's being listed on the screen is all the groups being for the Linux system.
Yeah, for accessing the restricting, enabling the permissions for the group level. So we can use either enable the permissions for the group and changing the permission specific to this group. Okay.
Okay.
So next, the password parameters. So we already saw how to set the password expired. Okay. So it this will it will go little bit deep about passwords expired and other things. It's all covered on the password parameters. So in password parameter define various policies for password security and expired. These settings can type in configured in. These are all available in etc login.defs, etc password and etc shadow files. But they can also enforce using change command. I mean change command here is okay. So already we try this command to set the password. So password expiry control, when a user must change their password, the parameters are defined in the etc shadow file. Okay.
Okay.
Description, this set to the maximum number of days password is valid before you must change. Default is if you create any user, the password never expired by default. Okay. So if you want to set this password, especially we need to mention it. So minimum we can set 7 days for password expired. Okay. And so this means user cannot change their password more than once in a 7 days. Password warning age. So if you set the if you want to give some warning and alerting the user for before 1 or 2 days, we can also set. So if you set the user password for 7 days, and you can also set pass warning age 5. So after 5 days, the user will want 5 days before the password expired. Okay, I mean before 5 days itself, they are getting the in the warning. Whenever you're entering the password, it will show your password will expire on within the 5 days. Make sure you are resetting the password before expired. Like that, you get warning message. Okay, so that you can never forget to changing your password. Password
Okay.
aging with change password. Age command allows you to view and modify the password expiration policy for individual user. So this command we can see. If you type change -l the username, so this will show such as last password change date, password expired date, and minimum and maximum between password changes warning before expiration. Okay, we set some password, right? We can try to I set the password expired for Bob. Okay, so if I type chag-l Bob, okay, yeah, I can see this. Quickly share the screen and show you what are the informations you can see. So these are the informations we can see if you run this command change-l username. So last today only I reset the change the password, right? So that's why saying last password change is November 14 and password exit is December 14 because I set the password policy for 30 days for Bob. Okay, so account expire as of now never, and minimum number of days password change 0. They cannot he cannot change the password. He can change the password after some 7 days maybe. So and also he get the warning message before 7 days of expired. So after 23 days, he the Bob will get the warning message. Hey, your password going to expire like that. Okay. So this is we seeing this some I set the password policy. If you change the user to Alice, what information we get? Password expired never. So by default, that should be never. Okay. Explicitly, if you set the password expire 30 days, then only we get this information like this. And if you are not set the password policy, you won't get. So if you see number of days password change 9999, so it's never expire. So he won't get this warning message also. Okay, so that's why if you are in an organization, they are following their mandatorily follow the password policies and all. So every user they will set the password policy, and every members or users will change the password for either be that 30 days or 60 days or 90 days as per the what global policy the company is having to set that this is the command. Okay, so to see the informations we can run this command. I will share this latest document. You can play around with it. Okay, so if you want to set the minimum password age, we can use -m. And so if you want to set the password expired warning, -w, capital W, for how many days before you want to get this warning message. This is the command again. Password complexity parameters. So if you want to expressly set the password length, some if you set the password some enterprise application, SaaS application, some big websites and all, you are creating the username, right? They have explicitly set some policies. The password length should be 8 characters or 12 characters, and the first letter should be capital, like that, right? So how we can set here? Okay, so that's what is going to see. So password complexity parameters. So this we can see tomorrow. Okay, as of now you can just play around with this. Otherwise, it will be the lengthy topic. So